It's news time, you shits! Hello, my name is James McClellan with the ABNN or Angry Bastard News Network, and it is time for another episode of It's News Time, you shits. It's been a hot minute since I've done one of these, but I've been trying to just sort of detach from the world a little bit. I keep my ear to the ground, of course. I like to be well informed, but I've tried not to let the rage that admittedly bubbles about this far below the surface at any given moment consume me. I was doing okay. I was doing okay, and unfortunately today has basically rendered me near incoherent with rage to the point that all I can think about is wandering the streets, snapping other human beings in half with my bare hands. So, why am I so angry? I tell you what, let's see if we can start this off with a bit of humour and preface it so that you know, just to mix things up a bit. So, how about a joke? What do you get if you cross a sack of potatoes with a sack of straw and then imbue it with a hideous malevolent sentience? That's right, Prime Minister Boris Johnson. This sagging Hessian sack filled with shit and bad intentions has given a briefing today in which he has stated that he expects all legal lockdown requirements to end as of July 19th, stage 4. Now, he prefaced this by explaining that cases are on the rise. Later this month, we should expect to see 50,000 cases a day. And I want to check my notes here. I've been researching from an article. I've got notes here about what he actually said. He said, which it took me some time, but roughly translated and extracting all the boffle, means something akin to predicted to rise 50,000 a day and, direct quote, "We must reconcile ourselves, sadly, to more deaths from COVID." Now, must we? Must we? Must we reconcile ourselves to as many as we're going to get if you fuck everything up? Now, I do, the fact that being in lockdown for as long as we have has had a massive negative impact on the economy, although dead people can't spend money, but right, massive impact on the economy, massive impact on mental health. I have had personal experience of this and of the effects it has had in a wider reaching. You know, my kids have struggled. I understand. I do. I understand that there are people watching this now thinking, but I cannot do lockdown again. And I know. I feel you. I appreciate you. I get it. I'm not saying plunge us back into lockdown. What I am saying is that scrapping every single measure that is in place to keep us safe, when we know that cases are on the rise and there will be more deaths and there will be more illness, scrapping all of it doesn't seem sensible. I mean, it's the "oh, I'm so bad" argument of dieting applied to politics. You have a bad day with your diet, and believe me, I've done this too, and you think, "Oh, I feel really crappy today, to hell with the diet, I'm going to treat myself, I'm going to have a bar of chocolate," and within 5 minutes you're in a field covering a cow in gravy and just taking bites out of it. I know, you've blown it, it's fucked. And then you just scrap the entire diet. Now, I think Boris is somewhere, deep inside that 6-week-old Halloween pumpkin that he calls a head. I'm assuming that there's some sort of thinking like that. It's like, well, the economy's blown, the mental health is boffle, faff. The mental health is blown, cases are still on the rise. Maybe we should just sack it all in and give it a bloody good go, eh? No, Boris. No, okay? I realise that coherent thinking comes difficult to a man who is clearly an armchair from 1963 that has somehow been brought to life via contact with the Allspark, but you don't just sack it in when it's going wrong, okay? Because there's been some improvement, you think, we can scrap it, the vaccine's going good. He actually said this, okay? And again, I had to translate this from Murloc, but nevertheless, he said, if we don't go ahead now, that when we've clearly done so much with the vaccination program to break the link, when would we go ahead? Suggestion, when it's not still fucked. We run the risk of either opening up at a very difficult time when the virus has an edge, has an advantage in the cold months, or again putting everything off to next year. I don't get the logic there. If we... Sure, On the surface, it seems reasonable. It's like, well, if we open up now, we can get a bloody good head start. Then when the winter comes around, people will be ready and raring, and everything will know what's going on. Yeah, except what will actually happen is if we open up now and the virus does get a firmer foothold on the country, we will be in a worse position by the time the colder months come around and people are more susceptible to it. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a virologist. I'm certainly not a politician because I've got a heart. But is that not basic logic? Does his argument hold water? It doesn't seem like it does to me. And even if it does, even if I'm missing something major, the fact of the matter is that if they have a sensible plan, get out there and tell us it instead of the Lord Farquaad delivery of some of you may die, but that's a chance I'm willing to take, and then fucking off back into your bunker to build another bus out of a wine crate. Here's what they're actually going to do, okay? Here is what they're actually going to do. I'm going to bring up my notes again. Where are they? We're going to find this. These are the requirements, right? Social distancing requirements, including the 1 metre plus rule. No one cares about that anymore. Face coverings are currently required for those without an exemption on public transport and in shops as part of the regulations backed by law. As of July 19th, as long as everything goes ahead, that's gone. No face masks. Possibly in enclosed spaces and on public transport, but no face masks. That's gone. An end to limits on attendance at weddings and funerals, bad idea. Table service rules at bars and restaurants and venue check-in requirements will be scrapped. Now, scrapping the table service, I can appreciate will be good for the economy perhaps, and it might make life... I get that, that's a difficult thing. Venue check-in requirements? No, don't scrap those, because that's how we're going to know when there are hotspots, and that is something that should be tracked. Limits on named care home visitors will be lifted. Okay. Reduce those limits. Let those who are in care homes see family members, reduce isolation, improve mental health, especially in cases where they're end of life. Yep, I am absolutely behind that. I understand that. Do it sensibly. Make sure that these people can only come in if they do actually take every precaution to not spread a very infectious disease. But I get that. Council powers to enforce rules will expire. That's the way to do it. To strip all powers from the already largely ineffective county councils across the nation. And, genius. No. And large-scale events will not legally require certification. Nope. Not a chance, because it's summer. Festivals. Parties. Look. The only thing I can ask at this point is if you are a festival organiser or you're running some sort of large-scale charity event or just event, if you're organising your wedding or a huge birthday party or even a thank God we're out of lockdown, fuck it, let's go party, use some common sense yourself. Okay? If you choose within your circle to get people back into your house and scrap that, that's fine, that's up to you. I appreciate that some people are going to have to make steps for their mental health, and if the legal requirements are scrapped, you can pretty much do what you want, but use common sense. If you are holding a wedding, do you really need to invite the Jenkins? You remember the Jenkins? They lived next door to you 7 years ago, 2 houses ago, and you get a Christmas card from them. Do they need to come to your wedding? Because I'll be honest, they probably don't even want to, unless you've got an open bar. But just limit it yourself. Still wear a mask. Right? I know masks aren't great. I mean, I like mine because I've got a kind of a snood type mask that has a medical filter because, beard, and it's quite comfy and it's great on cold days, and the anonymity when I headbutt people is nice, but no one likes masks. I understand that, but still, they have helped. I mean, look at the figures, not just for COVID and how it started to drop when people started to do sensible shit, but look at everything else. Like other infectious diseases, common colds and that, numbers have been down. Why? Because we are not spreading as much. I mean, it's just common sense. And I know, I live in Scotland, most of this doesn't affect me in theory, except we'll probably follow suit. And Keir Starmer, who I don't give a shit about either way because every politician's a bastard, but nevertheless, said lifting all protections in one go when the infection rate is going up is reckless. Yes. A balanced approach or proper plan would say keep protections. Yes. That's basically what I've just been saying, but with less swearing and referring to the Prime Minister as a variety of different sad-looking beige objects. Before you blindly follow the words of a Latin-speaking jacket potato. Just apply some common sense and self-accountability, and for the love of God, stay safe, because it's a shithole world at the best of times, and idiots like him are making it worse. That was a lot, wasn't it? We'll end on another joke. What do you get if you cross Boris Johnson's face with 37,000 tons of bricks? Sorry, I was lost in a fantasy world of my own then. Disclaimer, I obviously mean no actual harm to Boris or any other politician. I don't fucking like him, but I don't want a house to land on him. Stay safe, folks.